I think Cali is like, especially SoCal, is very tribal.
That's what it is.
Yeah, like you stick to your core group, and that's who you trust. And anybody that's not from your core group, you're like, hold up, this one could try to fuck me over.
Yeah,
that people get fucked over here all the time.
Yeah, so like, and I still do this too. Even out when I'm out there in Wyoming, I'll still look behind me. I'm very aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Shit like that. People think like I'm tweaking or some shit.
Yeah,
we tripping on. Like, yeah, I'm like, it's just where I grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's out for themselves and shit. So that's probably like a big thing. Like even now when I landed, I'm like, we gotta be aware of your surroundings and shit. I would say out there your guard is down. When I come to Cali, my guard is up.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo, chilling right here in the Lit Out It Podcast. I got a very special guest in the building, Mr.
Yeah. Solo my Music, aka Solo.
That's right. Welcome to the Lit Out It Podcast. Welcome to the studio, my boy.
Appreciate it.
So you're definitely somebody that definitely want to interview. Shout out to the homie Edward for hooking us up, linking us up and shit. I definitely got a lot of questions for you. But before we get started with the questions, tell us who you are and where you're from.
Man, so I go by Solo. Artist name Solo Musiq. From Monterey Park, California. Grew up there. Moved a lot since, but that's what I consider home. Okay. That's where I lived the longest in my life at one period. So Monterey Park. For those that don't know, Monterey Park is like, I'll say about 10 minutes from the city of LA.
Okay.
So we're real like on the outs. No, I didn't say on the outskirts. We're
you're
right there.
You're right next to East LA, no? Is that the next city after East LA?
We're right. Yeah, East LA, Montebello, and then if you go like east, we're there's Alhambra, Rosemead. I grew up in all that area. Almani.
Yeah. There's like a strong, in that area, the Almani, Alhambra, there's like a strong Asian population, no?
Yeah, Asian.
That's like the best Asian
predominantly food. Asian and Mexican.
Facts. So I was born in East LA because a lot of my family, when they came over from Mexico and shit, they all like landed in East LA. So I'm super familiar with East LA. Monterey Park, I got a tia that lives out there. Like it's a weird street. We have to go up a hill or some shit. Yeah. But it looks pretty cool. But definitely Alhambra and shit like that. I had some homies that were like, they're Asian. I think they're like Chinese and shit. But they would take me to these places. They'll serve you some weird ass Chinese food, like fucking pig guts and pig blood and fucking duck penis and shit like that.
I never tried none of that.
I never put no penis in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but they would try like some funky shit. Like they had this soup that had like little fucking little balls in it. Nah, they're not balls, they're seeds. But you'll eat it and it'll numb your lips, so it's pretty tight.
Oh shit.
So yeah. Shout out to Monterey Park area.
Hell yeah. That's home right there, bro. 626.
Is it 626? I was gonna ask you, the 562 or 626? Yeah. Is that considered already SGV?
That's SGV.
Damn, that's like the beginning of SGV, huh?
Yeah, because I would think I think Montebello is considered LA. Like,
still, huh?
Yeah, like LA. So Monterey Park to, I think it stretches to like Azusa.
Oh shit!
It's probably like the last city that's SGV.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Correct.
I think you're right. Irwindale, Azusa area.
Yeah, you got like West Covina, Pomona, all that over there.
Yeah. Shout out to all the cities out there.
Oh, yeah.
On the outskirts. But yeah, let's just jump into the music, man. How long you been doing music for?
So, 2020 is what I say is when I started like investing in it.
Okay.
Like putting money into it and recording myself. 2020, 2019 is probably like when I recorded my first song, like putting my vocals on a mic.
Yeah.
2019. But 2020 is when I dumped money into it and then fucking took off.
Now, before that, you always were just a fan of rap, but you never really tried it? Or you would freestyle with the homies type of shit?
Nah, not even freestyle. So, growing up, my older brother, he was into music. He could freestyle off top of the dome.
Yeah.
Recorded and shit. He was the one that went down that road as being a rapper. In high school was when I started writing, like just writing verses in a notebook. And then
you had a book of rhymes, like God says.
Yeah, I did. Took like a MIDI class. Really didn't take it too seriously. It was more like an elective, just to graduate and shit.
Right.
But
a MIDI class?
A MIDI class.
What is that?
Like, like a MIDI controller when you're making beats. They had a class for that.
Damn, are you serious?
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
So my first 2 years of high school, I went to Marquepo, which is in Alhambra.
Right.
And then the last 2 years was when I moved to the IE in Fontana.
Okay.
And then finished my last 2 years there. That's where I took a MIDI class.
Okay, that's dope, man.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was cool. I wish I would have took it more seriously when I was
yeah.
there because I didn't know later on in life I was
would need
gonna fuck with rap like that.
Yeah, but that's still like even the fact that you probably didn't take it serious, you still probably remember like the basic things, how to turn it on, how to plug it in, like little shit that you probably didn't really pay attention to.
Kinda, yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
in the back of your brain. Cause I'm in high school, like the fucking only elective I had was like computer class and fucking wood and shit. And I am not a carpenter, my boy. Let me tell you right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cutting wood. You feel me?
Yeah.
Damn, Mark Keppel. My cousins went to Mark Keppel. That's crazy.
Yeah, shout out Mark Keppel.
So, and then also Fontana, right? You're like end of high school, maybe after high school, you're in the IE for a little bit.
Yeah, I was there for a couple years before I moved. I moved a lot, bro. So from IE, I moved to Bakersfield, Lake Isabella. I got family everywhere. So lived out there for a couple years. Was in the oil fields. Just worked. It was more like.
You're a roughneck?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I did that for a little bit. I couldn't handle it. It was too much.
Yeah.
How long were you doing that for?
Probably like 3-4 years.
Damn, that lasted a month.
Out there in Bakersfield, yeah.
That's
some real shit, bro. I was
I'm out. Money was good, bro.
Yeah, it was. Rig, tripping pipe. Like, I was really on a rig doing that shit.
Yeah, I was on the derrick. They had me on the derrick on top,
Yeah.
climbing up and down
Afraid
my
of
fat
heights?
ass. I'm not afraid of heights, but it would just take me forever to go up and down. I get tired. Like, I'm halfway, I'll hold on to that shit like, fucking tired. And then go back up, take another break. They're like, hurry the fuck up. I was like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm fucking tired. I'm fat ass. Saying my fat ass up here for no reason, dog. What the fuck? Because you know when you start, you got to go up the derrick, right? They always send the derrick guy,
Yeah, that's where
the
they
new
put
guy.
you.
So after Bakersfield, where'd you end up?
Came back to the IE for a little bit, Fontana. My grandma lived out there. Mm-hmm. Where else? Moved to Vegas. I was out in Vegas for probably like 2 years.
In the city of Vegas or like Henderson area?
So I first moved to Henderson.
Mm-hmm. That's where most people end up at first.
Yeah, it's a little nicer. It's a little cheaper.
Yeah.
And then went to like Southwest Las Vegas.
Okay.
Lived there for a little. Altogether, it was like 2 years. And then from there, was just floating. Really just floating, bro. Just floating around. And then moved to Wyoming. I'm in Wyoming right now.
Oh fuck! You live in Wyoming?
Bro, I'm in the Midwest.
You know what? Speaking of like Wyoming and shit, a lot of people like ever since like Kanye West, like I think rich people have been living in Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota for a long time.
Yeah.
But people are like starting to figure out like, oh shit, it's actually probably pretty nice out there. It's probably chill as fuck, no?
It's different, bro.
Is it like a country town type shit?
It is. It's all country. It's a country, like cowboy hats, cowboy boots.
Damn, what took you out there?
I had a job offer out there. My cousin, he just got out, and I just happened to be in Bakersfield at the time that he got out. He was like, "Hey man, you want to change of pace, different lifestyle, whatever? Come out." And then like a week after we talked, I was like, "Hey man, I'm ready to go." Like I said, I really didn't have shit going on, so he's like, "Come on." So I fucking drove out there for like 1,400 miles.
Damn, it was like 3 or 4 days to get you out there?
17 hours. So I drove like 11 hours the first day, 6 hours the next day. It was a mission, bro.
Damn, that is a mission.
That's definitely the furthest.
That's like a sick road trip.
That's the furthest I've been out from, cause like born in SoCal, West Coast, so it's different atmosphere.
Yeah, I think I always tell the homies like when you're born in LA, especially SoCal, like LA area, like you really don't have to go nowhere like to vacation because everything's right
It's all
here.
there.
You got the mountains, you got the beach, you got the city, the nightlife. Like you don't really got to go nowhere. So me too. For a long time, the first I ever went was like Arizona or TJ.
Yeah.
But then recently I went to Miami and shit like that. And I love Miami. Miami's dope. But yeah, you definitely gotta get out there and travel a little bit. So I think now that kind of makes sense as far as like. Because what I've noticed, I was going through your like discography on Spotify. You have like fucking a million songs, my boy. Because on Spotify it shows you like your top 5, right?
Yeah.
Your top 5, and it doesn't really show you how many songs you have. So I put shuffle on that bitch, to do some research and shit. And I was listening to them. After 5 songs, I'm like, all right, cool, Because I only got 5 songs. Like, most people only got like 5 songs to start off with, right? And then it kept going and going. And I'm already like fucking 8 hours later. I'm like, damn, this nigga's still going. And have I already heard this song? Or is it just new songs? You just have a shitload of songs.
Yeah.
So talk about your work ethic and like what works for you and what helps you make so much music so fast.
Fuck. When I first started investing money into music, was when I took it seriously, which I think anybody would. You start putting money into something like your setup you have here. You don't want it to go to waste. You want to get the most out of it. I dropped a 10-track mixtape called Hobby or Passion. After that,
Called what?
Hobby or passion.
Hobby or passion?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like in between. Is music a hobby or is music a passion?
ooh, I like that.
So that was like my like, am I gonna take this shit seriously? Let me see what the first mixtape, see how it goes. Do I want to keep on doing this shit, or is it just like a section in my life where I'm just fucking with music?
Yeah.
So after that, I got good feedback from it. I dropped, I made like 50 hard copies. All 50 hard copies were given out for free. And then it was like, well, what's next? So that's when I did, dropped, I don't know if you would call it EP or LP. This is an 8-track album called New Mark Sound.
New Mark Sound?
New Mark Sound.
Okay.
Which is it's my record label. So I have, like, not to go into much about the business, but it's an LLC. So I run everything through my LLC as far as music.
Nice.
So New Mark Sound, which the concept behind that was to, when I came into music, I didn't want to sound like nobody else. I wanted to, like, I didn't want to, not to bash on like West Coast, 'cause I'm from West Coast, but I didn't want to sound like everybody else who is from the West Coast. Like, their beats sound the same, they rap the same. So I wanted to like distinguish myself from everybody else.
And are you also making your own beats?
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
I produce.
You got some hard ass beats on there, dog.
Produce, mix, master, engineer.
Do you ever use like I think fucking Michael Jackson uses, like, he was using, like, he beatbox himself. Like, do you ever use your own? Like,
I hum.
You have a song that sounds like, I think this fool was going or some shit like that in the beat, like in the background.
I hum a lot when I make music.
Okay.
Like, to try and get the melody.
Yeah.
Or like the bass, and then I'll just replicate what I'm humming.
Okay.
That helps a lot.
That's hard. So you're writing the lyrics, you're recording yourself, you're making the beat, you're producing the beat, and you're mastering and mixing yourself.
Yeah, everything, bro.
Damn.
Nobody touches my music but me.
That's hard.
From the start to the finish, nobody touches it.
Do you now? That's the thing that, like, I think it's very rare. Like, I think Quavo does that. Russ, right?
Russ does that
for sure. There's certain people who like do the same thing that you're doing, but I would say like 99% of the other rappers have like a team of writers and producers and other people that help out. Like, is that something that you're just always gonna feel like that has to happen, or you think there ever get a point where, like, you know, to take it to the next level, right? If you want to go mainstream, you haven't got there yet, that you would have to get some help with production. Have you crossed that milestone in your head?
I think I still want the last touch to be me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, my say so.
Just the last touch.
Yeah, like, I want it. Like, I've thought about having a team. I think, like, sometimes it does get overwhelming and shit.
Right.
But I don't want it. I don't like when people start getting into what you're doing. It'll change, and it could change for the good or the better, but or for the good or the worse. But I still want the touch or the sound to be me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't mind jumping on somebody else's beat that's produced by somebody else. I don't mind none of that.
And then another thing that I noticed, sorry to cut you off, another thing that I noticed is that you're not really feature heavy on any of your songs, right? Like, you got, it's mostly you on all of your songs.
Yeah.
Is that something you did, like, just out of necessity? Because you're not really, like, you don't have a lot of homies that rap, or you just prefer to have yourself?
No, if somebody raps, like, I did a feature with Brazen. Shout out Brazen. She gets down on her shit. I like her music. She can rap. Mm-hmm. Edward Hurtado, he could rap. I fuck with people who you could tell, like, who's taking it seriously with music and who's just doing it, like, on a weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I respect that shit. Anybody that gets my respect, I'm like, man, you want to jump on a beat? You know?
Yeah.
Let's do something.
That's dope. Now, like, what are some of your goals in music? Like, what do you want to accomplish?
I think right now I'm just dropping a song a week, bro. I did it for 2021.
The whole year?
The whole year.
Damn.
From
Okay.
January.
It's starting to make sense now.
from January to December of 2021. I think I started mid-January. January 13, January 14,
so you got like 50 songs.
Yeah, it was 50 songs. 2021. And 2022 and 2022 came, I was like, fuck, let's do it again.
Yeah.
You know, let's just see. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just dropping a song a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm at, altogether, my catalog is like 84, 85 songs.
Okay. That makes sense,
Yeah.
dog. Because, like, I'm telling you, I was expecting like 5 or 6 songs to dissect, you know, and shit like that. And then it's like, fuck, I'm on like song 37. I'm like, God damn,
Yeah.
shit has not stopped. Like, this one keeps like going and going. In your music, you kind of talk a lot about your family, you know, like I think your older brother, younger brother, something like
Yeah.
that. Uncle in the streets, living in the street or something like that. Talk about how like your family influences your music and shit like that.
I think a big influence was my older brother because he did music. Like I seen him when we lived at my grandma's. He was in the garage. He was doing what I'm doing now, where he had his own setup. You know how it is. You know, coming out the garage or the either garage or the closet. You know, I'm just trying to make something happen. He I seen him do that and thought about jumping on or thought about like, let me see if I could do it, but it was more his thing. So I really didn't want to like step on his toes with stuff like that. I don't know, bro. Just when it's your time, it's your time. Thought came in my head. I was like, man, let me buy some equipment. Let me invest in this shit, and then from there, just took off.
Yeah, I think
It was just like that.
me and Edward, like we both definitely invested like our fucking our Trump check into music and like the setups that we have right now.
Yeah.
Was that a part of your come up too, or you just had
No,
money saved up?
I had equipment before that. Before the stimulus and all that, I was buying equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your setup. Like what kind of setup you have right now, your equipment.
So I have my bedroom. My whole bedroom is my home studio. So I sleep in the living room. I dedicated my whole bedroom to a studio.
Damn, that's dope.
For anywhere from the desk to the mic setup, the acoustic panels, the desktop, everything.
But like what specific like program do you use or microphone?
Ableton. I started out with Pro Tools, and then from Pro Tools, my older brother again, he showed me Ableton. Like, hey, check this out.
On Ableton, you can make beats too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Pro Tools is cool to like record only, but if you're making beats too,
Yeah.
you have to switch to something else.
Yeah. Ableton. Jumped on Ableton. I've been on Ableton ever since. It's a little bit more complex. I just gravitated towards it.
That's dope. I think honestly like my prescription for subscription for Pro Tools just ended.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna switch, dog. I'm gonna switch to something else.
Try Ableton, bro. It's cool. Logic Pro X. I think you can make beats on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch, dog. Cause Pro Tools like it's kind of limited. Like it's probably really good. Like cause the homie that put me on Pro Tools, he's a mix engineer, so it's probably good for mixing and adding shit like that. But like
Yeah.
it's so limited, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna switch it up. Now, are you only on Spotify, or do you have like music videos on YouTube and shit? Or you got any music videos yet?
I'm on everything. I've done probably like 4 or 5 music videos,
And then-
all done by myself.
I'm gonna say, are you
Yeah,
also
bro.
producing this shit?
Yeah. What do you call it? Videographer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Videographer, producer.
Yeah. I wear a lot of hats, bro. I wear a
crazy.
lot. More just because being independent, I mean, you got to start somewhere. My mentality is like, I don't want to limit myself. Like, oh, I can't do this because I don't know how to do this. Or that's how I started mixing and mastering and producing. Like, nobody taught me how to do that shit.
Yeah, and how did you learn that shit?
I just fucking read a lot. YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jumped in the comments. People don't realize how much game you can soak up in the comment section.
Facts. That's a big fact. That's a bar right there.
Yeah. So reading that, a lot of producers are in the comments, and then they give out tips and shit. I'm like, oh, let me try that.
Yeah, because sometimes in the comments somebody be like, "Oh, I'm having trouble with this," or "How do you do that?" And then a shitload of people just reply like, "Hey, try this, try that."
Yeah.
That same thing happened to me. Yeah, facts. I love being in the comments, especially on a YouTube comment. There's so much game, like you said. Like, 'cause when you're in the comments in like Instagram or TikTok, it's usually a lot of hate, people clowning. It's not the same vibe. On YouTube, for some reason, it's like people are really gonna.
They're more supportive.
Yeah, it's super dope. I fuck with that too, because I definitely learned a lot of shit that I'm doing now on YouTube, like the University of YouTube, I call it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, super dope.
When I first started mixing, mastering, and doing all that shit, that came from me watching like rappers before me, like big rappers like Nipsey, Russ, how they went more of like that independent route. I'm gonna do it myself type mentality. The way that Russ can produce, mix, master, he started off doing all that shit, putting that shit on SoundCloud, and then blew up. So seeing that, it made me feel like like I shouldn't limit myself. If they could do it, then I could do it. I just got to put the time in. You get good with anything. You just put the time and dedication.
Yeah,
in,
facts.
You know what I mean? So, and then it was like, man, how can I go to A to B quickly without rushing it, but intensifying my knowledge with what I'm doing.
Right.
And it's just you gotta do it every single day. The more you do it, the more you get better with it.
And then I'll definitely want to get into like who are some of your musical influences, because as far as business, same Nipsey, Russ, even Dame Dash, even though he's a hard person to like love and like, but it's definitely spit a lot of game in interviews. But as far as musical influences, you kind of have a little bit of boom bop like New York flow on some beats, yeah, like because you're super lyrical. But you definitely got a West Coast like slang or twang to you. But like, what's some of your musical influences?
I wouldn't say not really much on the East Coast at all.
No?
Nah, I grew up like West Coast shit. Tupac, played out of Pac, Nipsey, Snoop, Dre, Bone Thugs. I was a big fan of Bone Thugs back like in the...
And then you do rap kind of fast on some songs.
Yeah, it depends on the beat, bro. I always tell people like the beat is what's gonna bring out the flow of an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could jump on one beat and I'll rap totally different than another beat. It just brings it out. But yeah, those are probably the biggest ones. Bone Thugs, Pac, a lot of West Coast artists.
And then is there anybody like that's rapping right now that you like? Any new guys?
You're talking about like new up and coming artists or just big names?
Big names. We'll start with big names and then maybe some, underground people that you're listening to.
I'll say on the West Coast, probably I like RJ, Mozzie. Who else? I listen on shitload of Nipsey. Bino Rito, Jay Stone. There's a lot, man.
What about underground artists that you're into that you would say like are not that famous?
I don't think they're mainstream yet, but I would say like Desi Hollow. I like what Desi Hollow's doing. He's from Oceanside. I like what he's doing. He's like that funk sound. Trying to keep that shit going. Who else? Doggy Style. He's from San Bernardino. He's coming up. I like what he's doing. I've been following both of them for a minute.
Yeah.
So to see them like go from where they started to where they're at now, it goes back to like consistency, putting out dope shit and just staying with it. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about like your business sense and like how much research you've done. Like, as far as business side of the music, like how are you involved in and where do you want to take yourself as a business?
So I have an LLC. I run all my music through an LLC, keeping track of like everything that I put in, like the expenses with as far as music production. I haven't done no marketing yet, no marketing or promotion like billboards or just like paying for things down that route. I haven't done that yet. But when I first started doing music, I was like, man, this shit's gonna get expensive. I need to like keep track of this shit. So I started doing like the business thing. I think as an independent artist, it's good to know not just the music side, but the business side. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Music industry, record labels, the bigger tyrants, how they have and they own record labels and they have artists, like to have that mentality. That's how I had to come in when I first started doing music. You gotta have like a CEO mentality.
Facts.
It's a business.
Do you also have like the shirt you're wearing, Newmark? Is that like your brand?
So that's Newmark Clothing. That's a clothing brand that I have. I started doing that. I do that on my own. I make the shirts on my own.
Like you print them yourself and everything?
Yeah.
Damn. You print them at your house?
Yeah.
You have like a screen printer?
Everything, bro. I do. I touch it all from start to finish. I package it, everything.
That's what's up.
I have drop shipping. I have a website, newmarkclothing.com. You can go on there, purchase anything. I personally make the shirt and ship it out to you.
What are you doing, like Shopify or Printful? What are you doing?
Shopify. Yeah.
Shopify?
Yeah, you can go on there and order that, drop ship.
That's what's up. Go get your merch.
Yeah.
At newmark.com?
Yeah, newmarkclothing.com.
Newmarkclothing.com.
Yeah.
That's dope. You design your shit too, or you pay like a graphic artist? You design
bro,
shit
I
too?
do it all myself.
God damn.
So the artist side came from tattooing. I'm a tattoo artist.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I started doing tattoos before I even started touching music. I've been tattooing probably since I was like 19 or 20. I started putting money into that shit. And I've been doing it since. Took like a little break from tattooing, but I'm doing that shit full time now. So I do music, tattoos, and I got a clothing line. I run all three of those on my own.
How do you find time to do tattoo, music, and have a full-time job? Like, do you not sleep?
I probably get like 4 to 6 hours. It's like my schedule, my normal schedule, 4 to 6 hours. When you get rid of, I sacrifice a lot, bro. I really do.
Like, what do you mean? What do you sacrifice?
Like I sacrifice family, going out. Like I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't do none of that shit. I go to work. I have a full-time job too, so I go to work, do my shift, come home, I jump on music. I don't go out, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't do none of that shit. I'm really dedicated to all the different businesses I have. I don't want to rob one's attention from another or slack somewhere because I'm out doing this when I know I shouldn't. Like, it's just a lot of discipline, focus.
That's dope.
And then being focused, I had to like sacrifice not drinking and partying or be in the position to say no to like my family or the homies to go out and do shit. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go work on this.
Yeah, talk about why you decided and why you think it's a good idea not to, like, get drunk or high. How does that affect you?
It fucks with my motivation, definitely. Discipline, like when you wake up all crudo and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I don't want to do music today. I don't want to do nothing today. Me knowing that, I drank for so long, never really got me nowhere in my life. I can't speak for other people, but when I started going down the other route with music, I'm like, fuck, music requires a lot of my time. I don't really have time to drink or anything like that. So,
as I drink a beer.
Yeah, to each his own. Like, all my family drinks. I was at a party last night. Everybody's drinking, get drunk and shit. It don't bother me. But putting my time and dedication to more important things that are gonna establish me later on as far as my business. It needs a lot of my focus.
Have you ever recorded like in a big major studio?
No.
So all of your songs have just come out of your bedroom?
Just in my room, yeah. My studio.
That's crazy. Like, if someone invites you to a studio, you'd be down to go check it out?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I would. So, like, when I first started doing music, I thought like that. Like, first thing I looked up was like, fuck, what's the closest studio to me?
Yeah.
And then, like, when you start thinking, like, I got to pay this much every hour, and then every day, I want to hit the studio every day, all week, every month. Like, that shit adds up. Same thing with producing. Like, when you go in and get a producer and you buy a beat, I bought like 2 beats when I first started. I'm like, fuck, this shit's gonna add up quickly because I want to drop so much. I'm like, this shit's gonna be very costly.
Yeah,
so I'm like, let me see what I can get, or let me see what equipment I need to do this shit on my own.
Yeah.
Save money, and I can just do this shit in my room.
Yeah, definitely. That's the smart way to do it because when we were doing music, me and had a couple artists under my record label. We were going to BeatStars, right? And you could get a beat for $20. I'm like, damn, this is dope. Whatever, this is something that's more affordable. But recently, like, I bought those beats 2 years ago, and now, like, I'm getting notifications like on YouTube and Instagram, and it's all like, we removed this post.
Oh, got flagged.
Yeah, because I was just leasing it for like a year, and then somebody came and just bought the exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
So my shit gets deleted.
Yep.
So, like, everyone out there is doing music. The cheap way to do it is go to BeatStars and get it for $20.
Yeah.
But if someone comes and buys that shit exclusively, like, you're done. You can't even. I mean, I think it's still on my distro kit. Like, you could hear it, but somehow, some way, I think like whoever owns the beat makes the money off of it. Like, I gotta give them something, or I don't know what's going on. But if you're out there buying beats, make sure you get exclusive rights. It's like 20. It's either 20 for like a year or $100 for like the whole exclusive rights. I think it's worth it. So that's one mistake I made. That
also too, like, because there's different options when you get a beat, there's fine print that you read. Like, you can only get so many streams. After those streams hit, you gotta either renegotiate, buy the beat, which it'll be more, So like I read all that fine print.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, I'm like, man, I need to do this shit. I need to go down a different route, create my own shit, and just over time, you get nice over time with anything you do. So, like beats that I made 2 years ago were totally different than beats that I make now. Like you just put the time in, you get better.
Change and shit.
Get better over time.
Yeah, when I first started like doing the record label shit, I was like, fuck it, I got money for 3 artists for recording. I got money for beats. I got money for artwork. I got money to mix and master. Like, it's good. And then I was like budgeting, right? I'm like, I could handle it, right? I got extra money, right? And then later I find out like, oh shit, like exclusive beats, and then oh shit this, and then little fucking things come up here and there, and I'm like, damn, do I really got enough money for 3 artists? You know, and then little by little they start. Then some artists don't want to show up and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit
Music business is not the easiest business, man.
Yeah.
I would say sometimes like it's almost like an expensive hobby. Like if you don't take it serious, like you're gonna lose a lot of money. It's a fucking money pit if you don't got your shit together, right?
Yeah. You asked me too earlier about features and shit. Fucking with artists who are serious about it. Like if I before I even like contact artists or want to work with them, I'll check them out. Like if they take this shit seriously, you kind of like you'll follow them, but it's like, oh, this guy don't take this shit seriously. Like I've come across a lot of artists who try to hit me up like, hey, let's do a song, but they're not consistent in what they're doing. It's kind of like a hobby for them. You know, like I do this shit full time every day.
Yeah, same thing. I have like people in my DMs and shit, and like the requested folder, like, hey, do you wanna interview me? Hey, can I come on the show? I want to be interviewed. And honestly, I'll look at their page, and I don't really care. It's not even about how many followers you got. I gotta see like the feed, how consistent you are. Is there engagement? Like, is it worth it for me?
Yeah.
You know, because it's gotta be 50-50. Like, obviously, I want to help people who are coming up and shit like that, but you gotta be already like cemented yourself, like, okay, this is a real, like, I would consider you a real artist, a real musician. It's taking it serious. All right, fuck it, come on the show. And the same reason why I fuck with Edward or I fuck with fucking Jeff or anybody else I have on the show is because, like, all right, this, like, they're zeroed in and they're completely focused, so I'm down to have you on the show. And that's basically what you're saying, right? You do music with people who are like serious about it.
Yeah. It's not like it's not a weekend thing. It's not part time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. It's a waste of my time to give you my time because my time is so valuable. Yeah. I'm not gonna wait for the
ghetto bird. Yeah. Thank you, sheriffs.
But yeah, dedication and shit. Like your hard work will show. Your last podcast, your last interview, they said hard work beats talent or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just true. That shit is true.
Yeah, I think the full quote is like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
Because a talented person that works hard is like, you see NBA players, NFL players, real rappers that are talented and they work hard. It's almost impossible to beat someone like that. But if someone's talented but they don't work hard, the person that just knows how to work hard is always gonna beat that person.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
And that work ethic will show too.
Facts.
You can see it. You'll see it in the music. You'll hear it in the music or anything, football, baseball, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You'll see that shit.
Did you play any sports growing up?
Nah, I did like a season when I was a kid, baseball, and then that was like came and gone. I don't even think I finished the season.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm over it.
But did you watch sports growing up? Are you into sports at all? Or are you not really?
Nah, I'm the type of person that I'll rather go to a game in person than to watch it.
Watch it on TV.
Yeah, it's more exciting when you're in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, not heavy into sports. I got like teams like Dodgers, Lakers. When I moved out of state, I found myself supporting more California states, like Angels, Golden State Warriors, anything that's Cali related. I'm like, okay, I could watch that if I'm somewhere, you know what I mean, or I'll root for that team.
Yeah.
That just came moving out of state.
You say you're in Montana right now or Wyoming?
Wyoming.
Okay, explain. I've never been to Wyoming. Explain Wyoming to me a little bit. What's going on out there?
It's very country. It's very country. It's flatland.
I'm just imagining.
It's a small population. I could get the population wrong. It's probably like 40,000 maybe.
The whole state?
No, the whole maybe 60,000 the whole state. I gotta Google that shit. But
that's crazy.
It's a small town where I live. I live in Casper, and it's a very small town. It's very different, but at the same time, like when I moved, I wasn't expecting the same thing of where I came from, where I was raised.
And then what about like the population? Is a lot of Hispanics or just all white out there?
Nah, it's dominantly predominantly white. There's natives out there.
Oh, you see like real Indians?
No, I mean Native Americans, but yeah.
My dumb ass be fucking talking shit about people using that word Indians, and I be using it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the wrong way to say it, but you know what I mean. Like,
Nah,
you know.
I learned that. I learned that from I had a native homie, and I used to be like, or Indian. I used to use the Indian term.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, we're not from India. We're from Native America. So he put me on game with that shit. So now when I hear him, I'm like, nah, Native American.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I know.
Yeah.
I gotta get better on that.
But native Mexican, but most of the state's white.
Damn. So when I'm
Caucasian.
when I'm thinking like Wyoming, I'm thinking like fucking the Great Plains,
Yeah,
buffaloes.
it's real flat, bro. There's like I got wild turkeys in my backyard.
Nah.
I got like deer, antelope. They're like crossing the streets. It's real. It's a lot of wildlife out there.
If you wanted to kill them, you could just straight up shoot them and shit.
Nah, you gotta get like a tag. You gotta go through the process, get a tag. You can't just
You can't just fuck out my yard, bitch.
You can't be popping turkeys in your backyard and shit.
Bro, if there's like some real Mexicans out there, like a turkey, like hell no, I'm shooting this turkey. I'm gonna eat this bitch.
Hey,
you know?
For real.
That's crazy.
It's
How long you been out there?
I've been out there 2 years.
Okay.
Been out there 2 years.
Do you see yourself like staying out there for long, or like you want to come
land?
back?
I want land out there.
Damn.
Yeah, I want to be a landowner.
You
I
really
want like
fuck with it.
I want it to be like an escape, which is what it is. Anybody that goes out there and they stay there long enough, it's an escape from like the fast life. Anybody that's from Cali, they know how quick it is.
Yeah, every day is another day.
Yeah. So like when you go out there, it really slowed me down. And like
I feel like more grounded out there.
yeah, it's different. Like it's just different, bro. I don't know how to explain it. It'll make you reflect on like, what am I doing?
Before you came today, or this weekend back to LA, how long has it been since you've been out over here? Or do you come out often?
I try to come out a couple times a year.
Okay. And then when you come back from being in Wyoming for 6 months or whatever, then you come back over here, like what are some of the big differences that you didn't notice when you were living here about LA? Like what takes you back? Like, oh shit, what the fuck? This is crazy out here. Traffic, weather.
Yeah, besides the obvious traffic, weather,
people.
The environment, people.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers don't give a fuck in Cali.
No?
You know,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's just like
no manners?
Nah, I don't want to say like they're rude. I mean, some motherfuckers are, but like the persona, the attitude, you got to get in where you can. Kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody's out for themselves, kind of. But then at the same time, I don't want to like throw shade on Kelly, but like at the same time, it could be family unified and shit.
I think Cali is like, especially SoCal, is very tribal.
That's what it is.
Yeah, like you stick to your core group, and that's who you trust. And anybody that's not from your core group, you're like, hold up, this one could try to fuck me over.
Yeah,
people get fucked over here all the time.
Yeah, so like, and I still do this too. Even out when I'm out there in Wyoming, I'll still look behind me. I'm very aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Shit like that. People think like I'm tweaking or some shit.
Yeah, you're
we
paranoid.
tripping on. Like, yeah, I'm like, it's just where I grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's out for themselves and shit. So that's probably like a big thing. Like even now when I landed, I'm like, we gotta be aware of your surroundings and shit. I would say out there your guard is down. When I come to Cali, my guard is up.
Have you been to the IE since you left from high school? Have you been back there to see how different it is?
Yeah, I was just there yesterday.
Do you notice how it's completely different from like maybe you were in high school?
It's grown.
Yeah, like there's actual real stores, like nice like shopping centers.
So when I first moved there, back in 2005, maybe 2004, my grandma moved out there first. There was like a lot of ranch.
Yeah, like cow country.
Flat ground, dirt lots everywhere, like mostly like Sierra. I remember when Sierra Avenue was all dirt. It was all flat.
Nobody had grass, huh?
Nah, none of that shit. I'm like, I thought that was country. When I moved out there, I was like, damn, we're really in the country, like the boonies, yeah. And then coming back now, I'm just tripping. Like when I landed and I see the city, I'm like, man, this shit grown so much.
Yeah, there's cement everywhere now.
Yeah, big warehouses everywhere.
Yeah, big ass warehouses.
Yeah.
And they're still building more. Because I remember at one point in time when I was like maybe 11 or 12, we were gonna move, and we started looking at houses out there, Moreno Valley, like IE over there far away.
Even Moreno Valley's growing.
Yeah, and then back then we were like, you can get a house for cheap, but there's nothing out here. Like you can't, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then now with my job, sometimes like that's where our headquarters is at, so I gotta drive out there, and I'm driving out there, and I'm like, damn, Upland looks pretty nice. Fucking Rialto's doesn't look too bad. Like you guys got a freeway, got the movies, got Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I'm like, this could probably possibly work, Whereas before it was like not even like that. But they used to always say that, like, wait 10, 15 years, let the infrastructure build itself, and like it's really changed.
There's this quote, and I could get it wrong. It says people overestimate what they could do in a year and underestimate what they could do in 10 years. And that just goes to show, like, cities, and when you watch cities, how much that they've grown. Like Dubai, you talk about Dubai. Like 20, 30 years ago, they were just like small little towns. You see where Dubai's at now, it's skyscrapers and shit.
Yeah.
You could do a lot in just 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Dubai is one of the biggest like examples of that. Like, I know what you're talking about. There's a picture where like the biggest building is like a 5-story building, and there's nothing there. And they're like 10 years later, just like a fucking infinite amount of buildings and streets and cars. And they got Lambos over there. A Lambo's like a fucking Honda.
Yeah.
Over there. It's
like, balling over there.
It's crazy. All the money's out there. That's a trip. You got like any places that you would like to travel you haven't been to?
There's a lot. I've always been that type of person to want to see everything. I've been to, I think I've touched 14, 15 states.
Oh shit.
Just being alive, the time I've been alive. But I want to see everywhere, bro. I want to travel. That's like one of my big things, just traveling. I love that shit. Like people, you don't really know how big the world is until you start going to different places. Like I know people who never left their city, their hometown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've been there all their life. I'm like, bro, you gotta like go out and travel. You know what I mean? The world's fucking huge.
Yeah, I remember I had like this mental block when I was little. Like where I used to live, where I live right now. In this street, there's no hood on my street. But one block down, there used to be some fools,
Yeah.
So this one hood, I don't want to say their name. And then across the big street, there was another hood.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, if I cross the street over here, I'm going to get banged on. If I cross the street over here, I'm going to get banged on. Like, I'm not really trying to leave my block. So I would just kick it right here, and I would never leave, And then finally, I will see that they're not really hanging around, and then I'll start walking around and doing my shit when I got older, like 15, 16.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that, like, they're, like, boxed into, like, their mental, like, there's, like, a mental cage of how far you can walk outside.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I went to Hollywood, I was, like, 20 years old, and I live right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Like when I'm in Wyoming and like people ask me, like the locals, they'll be like, how is it out there in Cali? Most of the time they talk about like what they see on TV, shit like that. I'm like, it's not all. I say a line in one of my songs. It's not all beaches and palm trees or fine girls or some shit like that. I forget the line, but that's what people see as an image who are outside of Cali. It's not just that. It's different. It's just different. You gotta, in order to experience. I could tell you I could tell you how it is, but in order for you to understand it, you gotta be there to see it.
Yeah, because especially a lot of people that come from like out of state or from different countries, like they come to like the vacation spots, right? Santa Monica, Malibu, by the beach, maybe Hollywood, downtown maybe, but they don't really come over here or up to the east side where you're from, right?
Yeah.
No one comes to vacation in San Gabriel Valley, let's be honest.
Nah.
He really
they want to hit like the beaches, Laguna,
and then I always tell people like that's where the real people, that's where real LA is, south of the 10 and like east of the 710. Like everything in that corner that's up there that's like vacation LA.
Yeah.
You feel me? But yeah, dog, it is what it is. If you come out to LA, make sure you visit the locals over here in Southgate, SGV. Go get you some good food and shit like that. But yeah, dog. So you say you do tattoos?
I do tattoos.
How'd you get into tattoos?
I've been drawing probably since I was like 13, 14.
You used to tag too?
Yeah, I started off as a tagger.
I think a lot of tattoo artists are taggers.
Yeah. Started off at tagging. My older brother again. My older brother was a big influence in like a lot of things that I did.
Did you ever make it like, because I know some fools that like were really good, but they're only black book artists. And like me, I wasn't really good, but I would hit the streets whenever I had the chance.
Yeah,
you
we,
feel me?
we mobbed around for a little bit.
Fucking freeways and shit.
Like sidewalls, buildings, side buildings, top buildings, and you hang over and fucking hit the wall.
Yeah, I was always too fat for that, but like I'm definitely ground level, like feet on the ground, like tag on the wall and shit. Like I'm down with that. But climbing shit, I was like, the little homies would do that shit.
Yeah.
What are you? Are you Mexican?
Yeah.
100% Mexican.
I'll say Mexican, Chicano. Yeah.
Okay.
Mexican American.
Are you like first generation from like your parents?
Nah. My parents were.
They're born here too?
I think my grandma was born here too.
Oh shit.
So
you're like third generation.
But I don't think my grandma's mom was born here. Or
what part of Mexico?
maybe third generation.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
What part of Mexico your family come from?
I don't even know, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
I think that's a normal thing. Like it's been so many generations that it's just something that you guys don't talk about. Like I know where my parents are from or my family comes from because I know where they were born. That's the only reason, you know.
So even like growing up, like my mom, like we kind of know a little Spanish, just picking it up, like words here and there. But like I can't have a full-on conversation with you in Spanish.
That's another thing I was gonna ask you if you knew Spanish.
Nah. So like my grandma knew Spanish. One of my tias, she knows Spanish. She could like conversate with you. But like as far as like my brothers, my sister, we know words here and there.
Yeah.
And shit. So like I kind of feel like I should know. Like I even took Spanish class in high school.
Yeah.
But never really took it seriously.
But that the Spanish they teach you in high school is like European Spanish.
It's
in Spain.
Yeah, it's like the dialect is different.
Yeah,
like,
it's completely.
I didn't grow up on this.
Yeah, because I took that shit one time. I was like, nah, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's
Give me
like they teach you like the proper way of speaking Spanish.
Yeah, it's not Mexican Spanish.
Nah, it's not like slang or anything like that.
Because even like on the keyboard on your phone is like, do you want Spanish from Mexico? Or you want Spanish from Spain? I'm like, oh, give me the Mexican Spanish.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, being Mexican and shit, and obviously listening to rap. You know, rap is predominantly, I guess, African American. It has some white people, and then it has its own section or its own like genre of Mexican rap, also known as kind of like Chicano rap.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like these young guys or people using the N-word in their music? Being Mexican, using the N-word.
Mexican use that word?
Yeah, Mexicans using the N-word.
I think it depends on how they grew up, where they grew up at. If they grew up like, let's say like Compton, like where a big majority of their homies are more black, I think it would it's just how they grew up, you know what I mean? Same thing with like I seen an interview with Fat Joe, how Fat Joe grew up. He was like
And Fat Joe's Puerto Rican.
yeah, the only one in his, or one of the very few in his projects where he grew up. That's just how it was. It was normalized, I guess. You know what I mean? I think anybody who, if you got homies and that's just how the lingo is, and that's how the lingo is. But like for somebody who says the N-word, and they don't got no black homies, or they didn't grow up in their life, it's like, how you gonna drop the N-bomb like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel it. I said this in the last interview, but I cut it out. But basically, the long of it was like I grew up. One of my best friends, like my neighbor, was black. You know.
Yeah.
He was actually half black, half Mexican, and that fool used to drop the N-word on us heavy all the time. And since I would see him every day, you know, I started picking it up, and I started using it from like, I would say like maybe 9 years old to like 18. And then I got to 18, and then I went to jail one time, and then fool started tripping because I kept saying it. And they're like, why the fuck you say that? Fool, you're Mexican, you're not even black. I'm like, say what? They're like, I didn't even notice I was saying it. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is actually a thing where you're not really supposed to say it. So I'm like, to avoid like shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna die on this hill. Like I won't let me say it. I want to say it. So I just ever since then I stopped using it. Especially now that I don't even kick with that fool no more. You know, that fool's actually like on the streets. He's kind of like a crackhead. So that fool smoked out, and I don't really kick with that fool no more. So I stopped saying it. But you know, honestly, sometimes, you know, I get a little comfortable, a little drunk, and I might let it slip. But it's not out of like on some racist
Like
shit.
disrespect, yeah.
To me, it was really, we were really using it as a term of endearment growing up, you know. But
I get that too. Like I can see that. Like I said, if you say it around people who use it, around black people who use it, and you're comfortable with that, then that's just how you were raised. But like to say it and you not having one black homie or yeah, if you're not gonna say it around people who are black,
yeah.
then you shouldn't say it when they're not in the room. You know?
In my point of view, Man, honestly, like there's like I think South Central Mexicans are very different from like Compton Mexicans, East LA. Like East LA Mexicans, you cannot like people will get on you about that. If you're East LA Mexican, that's because in East LA it's nothing but Mexicans. There's no black people there.
Yeah.
But South Central Compton shit like that is like half and half. So you definitely see a lot more South Central Mexicans using it.
Yeah. It all goes back to the environment, just how you grew up. You know, what I mean? It's normalized there.
Yeah. But personally, I mean, I don't get upset as much as a lot of things don't get me upset, man. I say some wild shit sometimes, so I want everyone to say whatever the fuck they want. I don't get upset, but you know, some people get upset over some shit. That's on them.
Yeah.
To each his own. You open carry out there?
Yeah.
Everyone just has a
holster.
Like
they carry
Cowboys.
Everyday carry shit. They carry that. You can go into like Walmart. They got that shit in their hip, like normal. Like Arizona or Vegas. I can open carry there too.
That's the trip, dog.
Yeah, it's a trip to see. When I first got there, it was like, motherfucker strapped up. Just walk around like nothing.
You're like, damn, motherfucker got a gun. Yeah. Shoot me.
Or like on their door, you'll see like when they open the door, you just like I pick up on shit like that.
Yeah.
That's like normal out there.
Do you feel like is there any like prejudice or racism out there towards like Mexicans or different colored people?
When I first moved out there, it was different. Like you get the looks.
Yeah.
I would get the looks. Like,
are you LA'd out over there? You wearing your LA hat all the time?
Like how they had long socks, Chucks, white, you know, LA hat, shit like that. And being out there, people don't dress like that. Mm-hmm. So I'll get the looks when I first got there, and when I moved when I came from Cali to there, first like our mindset is what the fuck you looking at?
Yeah.
You know, but out there, they're looking like this dude ain't from here. Mm-hmm. They know who's from there, who's not. Just like. It's like here, you can tell who's from your area and who's not from your area. So, when I moved out there, I used to get the looks. And I didn't know how to react at first. It was like what's up? I'm like, oh. Usually, like, when you make eye contact, it's like someone's going to look away or something's going to happen. So, I had to learn to adjust.
Yeah.
I had to learn to adjust. Like, even like cops out there, like, they'll wave to you. They'll say hi and shit. Because it's such a small town that they'll wave and say hi or nod their head. It's just different. And coming from where we come from, cops out here, they're different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're out. Yeah, bro.
They actually protecting certain.
They do. It's different. It's
They actually do their job out there.
Yeah, like it's just different, bro. They're not out there just to get you. You're not like. I have like a Cali mentality where like cops out to get me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't trust getting pulled over, shit like that. Singled out because of my race, but I had to learn to change my mindset when I moved out there. Like not everybody's out to get me.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's dope. It seems chill. It seems dope.
Yeah, it's a change of pace, bro.
I like that.
It is.
That's hard. Nah, you don't want part. You don't want part of this life. You got a girlfriend, my boy.
I don't got a girl, but we can say that for. I don't know, bro. It depends on the question.
All right, let me just hit you with it. All right. So these are like the Patreon questions that usually no one's ever gonna see it, like on YouTube. I'm not gonna post it just for my Patreon. You gotta pay to see it.
Okay.
All right, cool. You know what? Let me get the questions out. Let's do it. Let's do it right, dog. Let's do it right, dog. Everyone's all like, if you put me through it, you gotta put him through it.
Oh, you did it too?
Fuck yeah. All right, can men and women be friends? I'll let you see the tape. Either we're gonna release those. I think you did good. I don't think you said anything crazy. I'd say we release it, but if you don't want to, we'll just put it only on Patreon. Before we go, is there anything else you want to tell people where they can find you and shit like that?
Man, just my music's everywhere. It's Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. It's everywhere. You can find it anywhere. Solomon Music. My merch. Anybody wants to get my merch? NewmarkClothing.com. Tattoos. You can set up an appointment with me. Instagram page. I operate 3 different Instagram pages. At Solomon_music, at Newmark Clothing, and then at Solo Tats or SOLOTAT 2S is my tattoo page. You can check out my work.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So man, I want to thank you and appreciate for you to coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You.
Anytime you want to come back on the show, you're more than welcome to pull up. I think this was a great interview. I wish you nothing but success. I think you do good. Like I said, your fucking catalog is fucking dope. You just gotta keep going. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, hope you have fun here in LA. How long you gonna be here?
I'll be here for a week. So I gotta do some chat work Monday, Tuesday. And the rest of the week we'll see how it goes. I'll probably fly out Saturday.
Okay.
This Saturday. So I'll be here for a couple of days.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then the weather, it was really hot last week, and now it's not that hot this week. So you can't.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm trying to hit the beach.
Yeah, you picked a good time.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit the beach. Go to the coastline and shit.
Hell yeah. So thank you guys for watching. If you reached this far in the episode, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment. These are very important things to do. Share this episode. Go and follow the homie Solomon, aka Solomon Musiq.
Yeah.
On all platforms. And hopefully we'll see him back again on the episode very soon. Once he's famous and shit, you know what I'm saying? We're in the talks of working together as far as doing more content. So look out for that. Thank you for watching, and we out.
Peace.